Hello YouTube family, it is Sucha on here, and today I'm coming at you with a really out there topic that I don't usually always talk about, and that is skin. And to be quite honest, my skin and the results I've gotten through the past 2 years of my animal-based primal diet journey, it's a huge reason that has actually kept me on this diet, because if you aren't already familiar, your skin health is directly correlated with your gut health. And I think you can do all of the skin stuff with different products and face washes, and I've tried all of that. You can take the pill, which I highly don't recommend. But if you really want to tackle your skin health from the inside, then diet is going to be huge. So I'm going to start off with my skin journey, because basically growing up, I've always had really sensitive skin, which means that I scar really easily. So if I get an acne scar or just any kind of scar, it stays on my skin for longer than usual and takes time to heal, and you can visibly see the marks. But growing up, especially in middle school, just like so many of us, I went through puberty, and that is when I started breaking out a bunch, got all of the hormonal acne. In fact, it was so bad that I would be like crying to my mom, begging her to take me to the dermatologist. And she finally did. They gave me some kind of pill. I'm actually not sure quite what it is. Definitely not the birth control pill, but it was some kind of pill to help specifically with breakouts, and then a specific kind of face wash. I don't even know the specific chemicals in there, but now looking back, I'm like, this was like totally just treating things surface level wise. Even while going through puberty, if I even had any knowledge on what you eat and how that affects your skin and gut health the most, it would have been so different. But at that time, I was like so consumed with, feeling secure, wanting to look good, and I just did not want such crazy acne and breakouts. And at that time, I was putting a lot of foundation on my skin. I was doing liquid, powder, everything to cover it up, but it would still be such big bumps and whiteheads and all the oozing and the and it was just like horrible. So I just spent so many nights breaking down because I was really insecure about my skin. And I mentioned that my skin was really sensitive. So even after I would have pimples that go away, the acne scars would stay there for so long. So eventually in high school, as my adolescence and puberty kind of phased out, then my pimples and my breakout episodes did get a little bit calmer. However, I was still frequently breaking out. And around age 18 is when I was really trying to take a more conscious approach to food. However, I was still struggling with binge eating, which would mean that I was going through phases where I would just go all out with a bunch of junk food. I would feel kind of guilty about it, but I was making progress compared to my high school days where I was doing more processed foods and fast foods and really had no conscious approach to eating and really had no idea that what I ate actually would affect my skin. It was just, I totally thought it was a surface level, and I thought getting things like Proactive and Clearasil and all of the brands out there selling us on better skin, I thought that was the solution. And I can tell you right off the bat, I literally use like very simple Aveeno face wash. I really don't have any crazy routine, and I'm sure if I had a more in-depth routine, my skin would be even better. So that's my next step. But until I get there right now, I'm just super happy with the results of eating animal-based. So around age 19 is when I started eating fully vegan, and I actually did notice a little bit of an improvement, but not because of the vegan eating, but it was because I was trying to focus more on whole food plant-based eating, which means that I was really trying to consciously take out processed foods. I was still having like protein powder and tofu and nut milks and nut butters, but even with all the nuts, I did see improvement, and that was definitely attributed to taking out majority of processed foods. around age 20, so about like a year and a half after I was introduced to vegan plant-based eating and was living that lifestyle, I was really getting introduced to and practicing intermittent fasting and some longer fasts. And I will say that fasting really allowed to keep my skin at bay, even with all the inflammatory foods I was having on a vegan diet. So the fasting was definitely big. I can't pinpoint exactly, but I do know the combination of taking out processed foods and then fasting was really allowing my body to be less inflamed and then allowing myself to heal my gut. Fast forward to my trip when I had traveled and lived in India and Thailand for a few months. That is when I was actually starting to incorporate seafood, fish, and a little bit of chicken, which led me to my introduction to eating animal-based. And surprisingly, even though I was in countries where there was like a lot of dust and a lot of heat, and I was doing a lot of training and sweating and doing all the things where you'd think I wouldn't have the best skin, my skin actually started to improve there, but I had no idea it was the food yet. Fast forward to the pandemic time at the beginning when I officially started incorporating a lot more animal foods, I started to notice a lot more equilibrium. So what I mean by that is that I would have phases where I'd have good skin and then horrible skin, but I was starting to see a plateau where it was just kind of evening out. And basically the only times I would really break out was monthly right before my period. And so I thought that was normal still. And I was like, okay, whatever, I can deal with this. It's way better than the times I used to have hormonal acne and it would just be covering my face. So I can deal with that. In a different video, I have shared that one of my biggest insecurities are my facial hair coming in and ingrown hairs. And I've tried so many different things. I addressed this in that video of how to get past that. But basically, because I would be either doing microplaning, I think it's called microplaning. Yeah, like the mini razor or waxing or threading or whatever. It did sometimes make cuts in my skin, so I would have scars because of that. And then the ingrown hairs were actually a big cause of different like pimples and acne, which wasn't really the acne, it was the ingrown hair. So all of that would cause scarring. And so even though my pimples were diminishing, I would still get a lot of bumps and scarring because of that, because of the ingrown hairs, which it was just so annoying to deal with. And I'm still kind of working on that process. However, fast forward to almost a year and a half now of being fully animal-based, I have had the best skin I've ever had before. And I can fully attribute that to eating animal-based, because the second I noticed that I kind of go off and like have some processed foods or gluten or actual sugars, like refined sugars, I immediately noticed a little bit of breakout, a little bit of bumps. And now, even leading up to the days where I have my period, I don't break out at all. And I'm not even worried about it. Or if I get shitty sleep here and there, still nothing. Like I literally haven't broken out a single pimple in months. Sometimes I get a few little bumps here and there, but like I said, that's directly correlated to if I'm eating in a different way. I'm just so grateful for being able to find this way of eating, because really nothing else has ever made a difference. Even if I spent it on expensive product, if I spent it on a certain kind of pill, even when I was on birth control, that didn't do anything. And I know for some people they do get birth control prescribed for breakouts, which is again just treating surface level, and it's actually messing with your hormones a bunch. So what I really want to leave you with is the idea and fact that our skin health is directly related to our gut health. So if you're experiencing like indigestion, bloating, or if your food's not sitting well with you, or you're feeling any kind of inflammation, that's directly linked to your skin health. We have normalized the fact that it's normal to get pimples and breakout and all of these things, and we are forgetting that we should actually use our skin as an indication if we are thriving health-wise, rather than just kind of accepting it and giving into these marketing tactics and techniques by all of these companies trying to make so much money. Because food is our medicine. So like the answers have always been in what we're eating, how we're connected to the earth. I will say that I spend a lot more time in the sun, and also fasting has been huge for my skin as well. Now, I mentioned that my face was really prone to scarring, and then when I would get scarring, scarring from the ingrown hairs and just any type of bumps and acne and pimples that would arise. And I found that ever since I incorporated fasting and eating animal-based, my skin's just healing up so much. And just in general, my body's ability to heal up, whether that's muscle soreness after a workout or my hair, which I was experiencing a lot of hair loss towards the end of the 4 years that I was vegan. And also my nails, I used to have really unhealthy double nails and they're super healthy now. And then just complexion in general. So my body is able to heal a lot more. And I mentioned that I'm super simple with my products, really don't use anything. I have been trying to use more beef tallow as lotion. So just trying to be all animal based in all aspects, and sometimes doing yogurt facials, but very occasionally. I actually just always forget and I don't have much time to do these facials and all these self-care things. I also sweat a lot as I'm super active and I'm always in the gym. So my process is pretty simple. And sometimes a lot of days I sweat a bunch whether I'm teaching a class, taking a class, or at a workout, or just out playing with my dog. And then I kind of just chill and I don't wash my face right away because sweating is super natural and it's kind of a nice release and detox for the skin. And some people are just on it and they wash their face right away and they bring wipes with them and all of this. And all of this just goes to say that my process as far as self-care or skin routine is actually not strict. It's not stressful at all. And the answer is truly in the food. And as long as I'm eating on point, then my skin and just pretty much everything just seems to be flowing really well. And then incorporating fasting here and there, that can look really different for everybody. And I do offer coaching with ancestral eating and fasting if you're interested. And my email is below to reach out to me as far as that goes. But I can kind of help you navigate what works best for you, because there really isn't a one size fits all. But the idea is that we're really getting back to our primal roots and we're kind of mimicking the way that our ancestors lived, which was going for periods of time without eating and then eating primarily animal-based and having some fruits and honey when their body desired it and when it was available for quicker energy. And so we've just been so far taken from that. So we have all of these symptoms that turn up like on our face and body odor and hair loss and bad nails and bloating and indigestion and inflammation. And we just keep normalizing all of it. And it's not normal. And I wish someone told me that, but I'm just so freaking grateful that I've been open to this approach. And I don't ever feel like it's restrictive because it just feels right in my body, in my brain, in my skin, in my gut. It just shows. So I hope that helped. If you are on your skin healing journey, this is my recommendation. Start to implement intermittent fasting, and that can look different for everybody, but really you're going with this at the goal of giving your body some rest so that it's not always constantly inflamed, because when we're eating throughout the entire day, we're making our body consistently have to work that entire time. So there's really no time for just rest and recovery and decreasing that inflammation. And then the other thing would be eating more animal-based or a primal approach to food. So what that looks like for me is primarily meat, and then I'll do fruit here and there, and then a whole lot of raw honey as well. And that definitely seems to be doing the best. I immediately notice it when I am off my primal approach to eating, where my body, my skin will start to show me. And body means that like it's not just in the skin. Our gut health is related to so much. Even my body odor, like the way I sweat and smell, is so different. It's crazy because right now when I'm eating on point and feeling super good, my skin's on point. I don't really fart ever. I barely burp. And then also my bloating is completely gone and I feel just really, really good and energetic. And my body odor is really non-existent at that time, even if I'm doing a super sweaty workout. So it's crazy. Like all these things that we've normalized, our body is actually showing us. It's like a sign, but we've normalized so many of these things because when they just become a regular, we're just like, oh, I'm just dealing with this body odor forever, or I'm dealing with my bad skin forever, or it's in my genetics or whatever. And it doesn't have to be. So switching over to that, and I have tons of videos on what I eat in a day, what that looks like, and what encompasses a animal-based approach to eating. Let me know if you have any questions and if there's anything on this topic, whether it's skin or even hair, which grew back really strong and amazing for me, and my nails, all of that good stuff through this approach, a primal approach to eating, which encompasses the animal-based eating and then different forms of fasting. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Sucha. We got the Primal Gang going strong here. Give this video a like if you enjoyed and subscribe as well. It means so much to me, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Put your face in the sunshine and just start the glow up process.